Fatima, as we said, she is a Circassian. She is a very inspiring and brave Circassian lady who decided to tell the truth. No matter what happens, no matter where it happens and how it happens, Fatima is going to tell the true story. The Russian government, of course, harassed her, pushed her, kidnapped her, poisoned her, but Fatima decided to tell the truth. She is also a Circassian activist. She believes in being Circassian. She defends Circassian. She talks about their history. She talks about their plight. She is a true Circassian by the full meaning of the word. So much so that last year, the National Press Conference in Washington, D.C., one of the organizations that honor journalists who are brave and courageous and who do work beyond the line of duty, awarded Anna Politkovskaya. Anyone here who does not know who Anna Politkovskaya was, a journalist, Russian journalist in the Caucasus who had a American citizenship, who went to the Caucasus and discovered some human rights violations. She decided to talk about these human rights violations. Russian government didn't like that. Anna eventually was assassinated. A lot of fingers point out at the perpetrators, but for whatever reasons, the world or the journalist world today believes that some government officials were behind the assassination. Of course, this is denied, but the feeling is still there. As a journalist, Anna Politkovskaya was given an award in Washington, D.C., and of course, being that she passed away, they wanted to give the award to a journalist that comes from Russia who defends the same line of freedom and rights. So they chose Fatima to receive the award in behalf of Anna Politkovskaya. Fatima walked in Washington, D.C., in the National Press Conference and award ceremony that attended by hundreds of journalists wearing a Circassian dress. And when people ask her, what is this? She said, I am Circassian. So she is an advocate of human rights, strong advocate of Circassian nationalism. She had written tremendously about the Russians' attempts to eradicate Circassian nationalism. And because of this and many other things, and because of her defense of freedom and free speech in the Caucasus, she could not stay there any longer. She came to the United States, and she is part of our efforts right now with the Circassian Cultural Institute to introduce to the Circassian community in the United States and in the world, and to the world community, the plight of Circassians. She is credited among our group, among our people, to be the one who inspired and organized and brought Harvard University, with the help of many other people from Harvard University and elsewhere, to have a Circassian Day in Harvard. And this is perhaps maybe the first time in the history of Harvard University that Circassians spoke, and Circassians spoke in Circassian in Harvard University, telling the world the plight of Circassians. So I am going to give the time and the microphone now to Fatima Tlitz so she can tell you about what's going on in the Caucasus. We tend to think that everything is beautiful in the Caucasus. Things are peaceful. Everyone is living in such a peaceful and nice way. Fatima is going to tell us today a little bit of a different story, so as to make the people, Circassians mainly, aware of what's going on in motherland. Fatima, please.
Thank you very much for welcoming me today. God bless all of you who works for the Circassian cause in general. My sincere thanks, especially to the non-Adigas, non-Circassians who work for the Circassian cause. I guess they know who they are.
Я даже ходу и все журналистов за Кавказом.
As Iyad has stated, I have been working as a journalist for the last 10 years.
Августом минра августом.
In August 1609,
Associated Press izdevām Urisam Ministry of Internal Affairs joja asjabun permission uyumetma Kafkazım silazı konukum Hama Qaraj Press and Papla Ministry Ajibaba Khani
Ministra Shifra. In 2006,
in 2006, Associated Press, for whom I worked at that time, asked Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs to give me permission, because without that permission you cannot work in the Caucasus for foreign press, for foreign media. And when they أخذوا سلوب أنشوا قضاتني أداقم فعلجني أداقم ورسمي Minister.
Eventually, my request was denied by the ministry, Russian Ministry of Media and News.
Off of the record, I'm going to sit house sources and sit over the journals who measure slopes and so on, so that Associated Press.
Off the record, as they stated, why wouldn't be allowed to work as freely as she chooses? The answer was because she works for Associated Press. It was advised by the ministry, she was advised, if she wants to work as a journalist, she has to maintain her activity within the cultural sphere, not to interfere in any other affairs. What was that so much they disliked, Russian government, that is?
There
was no criminal activities involved in my journalism. What they tried to, or what they attempted to hide, was the truth.
Kafkazın kıxnağım erağı sağır di dünya zırdıxıdır qadıxır gapsağız zırşıtır biz ağını başır dünya sıxım.
When a visitor comes to the Caucasus, the Russian government attempts to show the natural beauty of the Caucasus and the modern towns and cities, while they're hiding everything else underneath it. What are they hiding? That's what I'm talking about. I will be talking about today. Firstly, what happened in 2005 in Nalchik was the main headline was struggle against terrorism, or so they claimed.
Our terrorist label is to хати урисовым аходасавас.
It is right now it's the habits of the Russian government to label anybody as a terrorist, anybody who goes against their policy. I will try to summarize what has happened from 2005 until today.
مسراتم دي نزادر تقول بغوي جو ناتشيك بمجيجو واجن سس.
The gentleman you see now on the screen is from the village of Gulubwe, outside Nalchik.
يسسيبل ناتشيك القخونمي بجا أتاك القخونمي بجا مثل بي حاطب مجور خاصة اللي سماشري.
5 years prior to the events of 2005 in Nalchik, the Russian police, he was taken into Russian custody, police custody, and there was a cross put on the back of his head.
يجم عرقزة داجتي ويعزحر حقا مقورة ما تتكون بنزين غازويني متراجعات.
They used to force alcohol into his mouth and tell him, "Where is your God? Why doesn't he come and help you out?" Does his car, God's car, has no fuel in it?
مر زدخون قصار دزت سحر شبجغة.
This event or this incident has not only happened to one individual, it's rather happened to many hundreds of them. Why these few hundreds were selected among other thousands of Circassians in the region? The Russian government has allocated certain money to Nalchik to fight terrorism, and some of these money, or allocated money, was returned back to Moscow. In this case, terrorism against terrorism.
It's about corruption. يوجد ذهبت رأسبي ليتفريات خزعة أبو خوان حاجة ستفان خوير مريم قصجة مجيت مقامة إنساس سنغو نخلو نخزعما أديسمو يتخش.
The Russian authorities have created a list selected individuals who usually go to the Friday prayers and who happen to be less than 50 years old.
يوجد منيدرا بصغام غماهم نالشكي خغومي مجيتو تخوار خاصة تحمخويت مكوسجا.
منيدرا
بصغام غماهم.
In the summer of 2004, the Russian government has closed down all the mosques in the Caucasus area, in the Circassian area.
No, not in Circassian. It was closed in Nalchik and around Nalchik. All the mosques were closed. Sorry.
Correction was made. Due to that circumstances, prayers, individuals who come to the mosque had to pray on the streets because of the closure of the mosque. I did ask some individuals, why have you decided to do this prayer on the streets while you're already a subject to arrest by the authorities?
The Constitution دقتو أخذت زخو سجاء صديق التراتحاتي ميسي جورام دتيسي أصدر بمغرية ساو Constitution دقتو الزريزة جدو أريزة خاخشة.
The answer to my question was, we do not break any laws, local laws. We do not have any weapons, and they can see it as we are praying on the streets of Nalchik.
مسرات الشتيسكال بزحم قفاوة من رشيد رغرا.
This picture was taken in 2004 in the autumn of 2004.
مسرات ميتو من خبر يبسوقم يا بداوة حتى مصر.
Most of the photos of individuals that you have seen, or you see, either dead or some of them are still in prison.
أبي وزجة زخوات أنا وزجة مخم يا باشو ستار موسى مقول جواب بس خزاوة ستار هذا معنى مار underground يونام سبسو جفتاق أنا يوزريت مش حاجة أنجيتها.
Head of these individuals was by the name of Musa, and he could not participate in any activity, so he had to go underground. What he said to me was,
the Habzam tetu, wrist Habzam tetu, constitutional tetu, zgora dis afnus ajma, zrik adranaqam jia. Azamani misinjistu mafsaq manuscript qzitawas ta mukhodu kilogrami bizma.
What Musa has told me, we exhausted every means to do what we supposed to do through Russian Constitution, but apparently they did not leave us any room to work. This manuscript says.
Згуб северная урамын де мажитер захватыжым шогозара учахыр, крагахатахыр, милиция мяшу зара torched them.
The manuscript right now shows the names of individuals as well as the torture that was taken place put upon these individuals in the police stations. Zuhum
ja паспортум Yetriusu, ja apakharvasu, ja unam zdapso, ja adres harinitu, Russian President Putin Hwatha, Mrak Dazov, Kada Apokshari.
The names of 2,000 men with their passports and names stated, their names and addresses requested from President Putin help from Moscow itself. No answer was forthcoming. Following that,
high school, Mirajaku Zazu, Sabika Sport Mukri Radio, Rasul Sakoyev Joanachik Abbadat Koda.
Another individual who has disappeared due to the oppressive police tactics was a high school teacher by the name of Rasul Zakoyev. Zakoyev.
Zada Makukitejana was the
4 days after 4 days after his disappearance, his body was found in a dump area outside Nalchik. He was still alive. That's what he said last minute. He did state in detail what has happened to him and the torture procedures that he went through. As soon as he entered, he was led back to his house. His mother could not recognize him and inquired how fat this young man is. Couldn't recognize her own son. Only 4 days after his disappearance.
Father, Dr. Hum examination as a test.
The gentleman was taken to the hospital and he went through medical exams.
First of all, the exam, the GCS
I did see the exam results of his physical exam, and I have a copy of it. There's no internal organ that is worth or functional inside his body. His heart only part of the organ that was functional. His limbs were pretty much almost disconnected from his body due to torture. His head was severely subject to electrical shocks. His fingernails, there was pins driven under his fingernails, and some of his fingernails also were pulled out. The gentleman lived only 3 days after he was brought back to his house, and during that 3 days also lived on life support equipment. There was a demonstration has taken place right after his death in Nalchik, that is.
As the Zakura Nalchik government Типешок мздвгапсо зачизаран дфохум да тзерхуео динамаз дсужу тпсону дхойнагос эпаризет хокум жари аходу япсасана юзи хашхаja фим ох зевмхо фигури махама асaqaf sibum fi haj ara jwafu qaritar.
Right after the gentleman's death, the group had organized itself and had to try to establish a communication channel between them and the government in Nalchik, requesting that they should be left alone, do their own activities, prayers and all other things, but rather the Nalchik's government answer was, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, pick up your weapon and go to the outside and do the struggling.
Abi was Nalchik the situation very хожа хвабзу. Rather than underground work.
Situation again after that incident, situation has changed dramatically. The young men went underground to carry on their activities. January.
Nalchik nisaniet assawa manuscript abde shipsa majit zakhwaza neighborhood as abde mop up operations abzarija zachistka ja'ur akhode shekocha.
There was an operation taking place in January 2005, right after the famous incident.
Abde yazarara minitum nasurus salatu zakhwashasa.
During January of 2000, the government has brought to the city, to the area of 2,000 soldiers and surrounded the house. There were also tanks have been called in.
Absolutely, azar mahuishta wayu suatnta sunahu tukhul zgamna unism building as tukhod also building so unahu khod also akhodet. During
the summer, during the winter of 2005, the 2,000 soldiers have surrounded the 3 buildings, residential buildings, where activities or suspected activists were living.
Mahuishto jana uz just to jari tank the ones зэтрауджасыт, михат яуджар.
3 days after this, after surrounding the residential buildings, a live fire had commenced, and they slaughtered many people.
Унагуитхут, шалишра, зихугипсра, зисабира. Агам зазавар.
These 2,000 soldiers surrounding them, they just fought against a meager family of 5 or 6.
They were 4 women, 1 children, one child, Leila. She was 8 months old, and 3 men.
What have they done? The door to the house where they're living was made out of steel or metal. They locked shut the door, welded, and consequently they annihilated the entire family. They did appeal to the authorities to let the women go because they have nothing to do with the entire episode. I have personally witnessed the removal of the dead body, the child body.
I was
authorities has refused to return the body of the child, the dead child, to their parents, to the family, and they claimed there was no dead child's body around.
Alisa?
There was a lady, there was a young lady by the name Alisa Trikova, she carries a Russian family name, but actually she is Kabardea.
She was pregnant, 7 months, and she tried to save her baby and herself. She just
this lady was living on the 4th floor. In order to save herself, she had to use a rope and jump into a 3rd floor. The area was so severely monitored and surrounded by troops that they would not allow anybody to witness what had taken place. But I did have a male relative, who helped me to witness through different doors and windows. If you're truly a peaceful individual, that is to put it that way, if you don't have, and also if you don't have a weapon, we suggest that you take off your clothing and come out and let us see you. She came out alone through the window. Sniper got her with a bullet in her head, and she was killed. This tactic was fruitfully used in Adyey area, Cherkessk area. This tactic of killing innocent people.
Nalchik qahwam yuzjani sasa bimra khubskamra saujam soy yuzjat hamakhut tejawa na Cherkesk dia khodaqab mismar qahwam.
The same scenario has repeated in Karachay-Cherkessk, what had taken place in Kabardey earlier.
Mitur zashaghusat. Masrat Sakhar. They were married. Husband and wife.
Since I don't see what's going on, there were these the photos that you see represent the husband and wife.
Timur and Jana.
Timur and Jana.
Jana Mazi Khosarmat.
Jana was 8 months pregnant at that time.
أخذ يابجر يغاب الصبي يا ساتيوم صوتي مش حقوم جنب أوفري خبزن زري لازق مرن صوت جري قوا.
When the attack took place around the building where they were living, Timur came out of showed up through the window and appealed to the troops, saying that this lady has nothing to do with this whole affair.
Please let her go.
Yeah.
She's pregnant. He cried. Ngana zrizaram khona qsguru onsuwa ishaqusani arqi budri zqli gadalakhli shaqum jamja yasana riqatum qridha zqzali gadalakhsna gnar qri gadalakhli qri gadni qsgoft.
What has happened later on that the husband got hold of of his wife, and he dangled her over from the third floor and dropped her in the hope of she would survive the drop. The individual, when she was dropped off the third floor window, her body tumbled a few times due to the excessive firepower that was directed against her body. She was tumbling, in other words, due to the fire. Right after that incident, that second, Timur had lost hope, and he made himself as a target to firing the squads down there, and he was killed himself, in other words, through the fire. The Russian government has pictured this whole operation, a military operation, as a struggle against a claim, as a struggle against terrorists, Islamic terrorists, in other words, while the facts are different, obviously.
Nalchik nakhina khasakho Hamakhwit yajum misa October.
Things in Nalchik became more tense after that incident.
Adgagup University student who Adgabarakharia or Lenin Street, Central Ram Ketu is the Goyaha.
Quite a few demonstrators, Adiga demonstrators, came out. The demonstrators were in number. There were over 100, and came out on the street carrying the Circassian flags and went to the central government building.
Министрами Псасаха, Шоджаном. И Регуляров в Мгузава дадит завода за тедичану то хазркам забричи яходу загруой забричи яхо.
Demonstrators have contacted the chief of police,
Shojan.
Chief of Police Shojan, and the chief has promised the demonstrators that we will not carry on any further killing of young men.
Idana October 13th.
This took place October 13th.
18 official officers were attacked. Militia, Sesper, officer,
the young demonstrators have attacked
demonstrators.
Around 200 armed Circassians had attacked the police station that contained 18 police officials in Nalchik.
Officers.
18 locations. 18 police locations. Correct.
Russian International Convention
There was an international agreement. There was an international convention that calls the prohibition of possession of weapons. Russian government was a signatory, one of the signatories, prohibition of possession of arms. As you have seen, Russian government has committed such a heinous crime of killing innocent people. All young men were Circassians. Corpses were left on the street. Relatives were prohibited from even approaching these corpses. Young boys were able, when they passed by the corpses, they were able to recognize their teachers, pointing out to the teachers, "That's my teacher," and "That's my teacher." These young men who were killed by police action, they all had families, and they were not nowhere to be labeled as terrorists, and they were not terrorists. What has happened later on, the corpses were removed off the street. I don't know if this is my monitor is going to show on the monitor, but she's going to try.
Trash. Refrigerator. October.
They have gathered all these corpses and they put them as one heap inside a refrigerator. It was in October, but in October, Nalchik's still a warm town, weather-wise. My apologies, my screen doesn't show the photos of the corpses. 2 weeks after they gathered these corpses in a big, huge heap inside a refrigerator, they contacted the families of these dead individuals and asked them to come by and identify your corpse, your body. Refrigerators were not working. Their parents were in the age of 60s and 70s. Brothers and sisters and wives were coming to the refrigerator to identify their bodies. It was only one individual allowed to go inside. There were 4 refrigerators on the spot. The pictures that you see, closed bodies, that's not the way it was. But the fact was that they were stripped of their clothing and their internal organs were removed. Since one parent was allowed in the refrigerator, there was the father or the mother, whomever was inside, was forced to move all the rest of the bodies that he could not, that doesn't belong to him, to figure out where his sibling's body. And I did speak with parents at that time, at that location.
Emergency car,
the process of identification took place in a most gruesome way, where ambulances were parked next to the refrigerator due to the fact that the parents, while identifying or during the process of identification, had to be taken. They were overwhelmed by emotion and mental pain. They were taken to the hospital for treatment, and they were brought back to continue the search for their bodies. The whole process of having the corpses in such a warm area resulted in the dismembering of the bodies, the limbs of the corpses. The corpses were not only the corpses of the individuals who were killed on the streets. After the firefight had stopped, there were about 15 people, individuals, who were arrested and interrogated as a result. Their death was a result of such interrogation.
2,000 people were arrested, young people, but 15 from them was dead after the torture. You can see what they do with people. It's not the worst picture I have.
Bodies were not returned to their families. They were burned. It was not possible to return such disfigured bodies.
Like an evidence what they did with those people.
Obviously, returning the body is returning also the evidence that incriminate the government. So that's why they were not returned. They did burn the bodies.
The prosecutor office, every Thursday they are on the street in front of the prosecutor office. No one came to them to speak. They're still hoping to receive justice for their sons. Nobody
today we have a lot of young men living in the Upper Highlands, and their intention was not to fight. And they were not left with any other choice. This is what these young men saying. It's better for us to die rather than live as a slave in our own homes. And they began to kill in the process of assassinating. They do assassinate all individuals that work for the government or the police force. Every time I cook, I always ask myself if they can find food, or they are able to find the food. You should talk about it, young men. Every rainy day, I ask myself whether these young men are able to find a cover. I wonder whether they're alive or dead. The pictures you see right now is nothing but a small number out of over 1,000 that we have now in the Caucasus. I have heard in the homeland as well as here that they repeat what the Russian government say, meaning terrorist. They still repeat that same title. Individuals you're seeing here are teachers, university graduates, and doctors. All these individuals have their own hopes and dreams. They were dreaming, building a better life, but yet they prefer the struggle for their own nation. They are freedom fighters.
They sacrifice their own life.
No matter what I do today, it's very minimal in comparison what these young men are doing. What has taken place in Nalchik must be great and effective and should reach every individual, every Circassian's heart. The celebration of the passing of 450 years with so-called alliance with Russia. No one has moved, demonstrated, or expressed his hatred or dislikeness to this 450 years of so-called alliance, except one individual. The placard says, "Why have you driven my beautiful nation, noble nation, out of his homeland?" This individual was arrested and was subjected to harassment and even torture, and the placard was destroyed and was released later on. Nothing has he done except expressing his feelings and his thoughts through the placard.
Democratic way,
what I have, the object of what I have showed you is that to show you also right now is that the democratic system does not work. It's not in practice in the Russian government, Russian-controlled territories, in Adyga, Circassia in general, and they don't have no idea about the democratic system as we understand it.
They cannot improve their rights in democratic way. I mean, our people in the Caucasus, in Circassia. Абыш хаджа, нобам без озавала горхарсос.
Today we have a few young men here. I would like to address them personally.
Dad who is lawyer, dad who is lobby Congress in Hatu, dad who is international law for it who Ziras Awi Jawa, Fiapajas of Psychikum Hodaza, Sit Hodaza Razaz on Yar.
Addressing the young men, we do need lawyers, we do need lobbyists, we do need people to struggle for the freedom of the Circassians in our homeland, and also to have a knowledge of the Constitution. International law.
In UN, we need lobby in UN, in the United States Congress. We do need you working on Circassian issue. Doesn't matter what you do. If you have it in your heart, you can do any business in the right way. Please remember it. There are people who need our help. They are our brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you. Fatima, no poetry? Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. I would like to move to our next speaker. We are short in time. I would like to ask people whether we should take a lunch break now or continue with Mr. Adel Bashkawi, or either to take a lunch break or continue with Mr. Adel Bashkawi. And I will, what would you like? Continue. Okay.